All right, so here we got Let Rap Culture Die Off. Now, I'm not gonna lie, very incendiary title, but before we make any judgments, let's just listen to what bro gotta say.
Guess who's back? Yeah. I can already feel all the hate. I can already feel all the, man, shut the, man, you don't know what you, man, look at this.
Yeah, I can tell you niggas not gonna want to hear this, but
When I tell you to list off some of the most prominent rap idols, especially in recent years, I'm not talking about of all time, but especially in recent years, right? Especially ones coming from a certain community. Who do we think of? Kendrick, maybe.
definitely.
Maybe you think of Baby Chief Do It. He's a new one. Maybe you think of Playboi Carti. Maybe you think of Kanye. Maybe you think of Drake. Maybe you think of King Von.
Yeah, if you think of King Von as a rap idol, check yourself into a mental health facility immediately, brother.
Maybe you think of Chief Keef. These names are gonna go.
Valid.
Listen. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I haven't enjoyed rap music. I have listened to rap almost from the moment I landed in this country, right? Rap has been a popular part of the culture, especially whenever I was younger and I was in middle school. If you didn't listen to rap, you were lame. You were lame, you were, look at you, you're whitewashed. You listen to rock, you listen to country, what? What? You're whitewashed. Yeah, when you tune into rap song, I want you to play one single song by King Von and tell me where he doesn't talk about sliming out his own brothers, shooting people, shooting black people, robbing, hitting licks. You still in school? I'm in your motherfucking class. Yeah, all of that. I have recently been deleting every rap song from my playlist on Spotify.
Yeah, but it's like, I love this talking point because it always says more about the person who's saying it than it does about whatever asset or facet of culture that they're discussing. There's more rap than what you're talking about. There's Chica, who's a super underrated underground female rapper. There's Rhapsody. There's No Name. I don't know why I'm thinking of female rappers right now, but I bet you he doesn't listen to any of them, right? There's AZ Chike. There's Sauce Walka. There's Absol. There's J-Rock. There's Denzel Curry. There's Jaden Smith. He's weird, but he makes really dope music, right? There's a whole slew of people in the commercially successful space, and then even more, magnitudes more, in underground music that I promise you he has not checked out. He's just using like a few people to basically make a blanket assessment of the entire culture, and that's dangerous. I kind of feel the direction that this is going in, and I'm not jacking it, bro. I'm not really jacking it.
Which is where I listen to my music. That's what I've been doing. And honestly, it can be super cliche. I could come on here and be like, oh, I feel a drastic difference. My spirit, I'm elevated. No, it's none of that. It's not like something drastic in my life has changed now that I stopped listening to rap and I focus on listening to other forms of music that I listen to, which is mainly alternative rock, a little bit of country, some funk, you know, different things that don't have talk about murder and death and killing and robbing all the time, right? Although I don't feel like
yeah, but I listen to alternative rock too, especially like old school rock lately. Like, let me just look through my playlist really quickly on Apple Music. Please Don't Leave Me by Pretty Maids. A Shot at Redemption by Heat, Oh Lord by Foxy Shazam, which is the intro music to Peacemaker Season 2, Take Me For a Ride by Bad City. Those are all like rock music, right? I listen to alternative music, basically anything that Alicia has produced, Anderson .Paak. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy rap music, and none of that means you have to listen to rap music that's discussing murder. That's not all of rap music. Clips was another act that I did not name. Like, if they don't win a Grammy, we riot, right? But like, besides that, like, this talking point is so, I mean, it's click worthy, if anything else, if nothing else.
Something has necessarily massively changed. I can definitely feel something has been lifted off my shoulders. There's a weight, there's an unnecessary aggression and just negative aura that's been lifted off of my psyche.
I mean, that's good.
I'm not running around this place smiling like Mickey Mouse and you know what I'm saying, all the time. But at the end of the day, I do feel as though there is a cognitive cloud that disperses whenever I take rap music out of my ears. Now,
yeah, but like that type of rap music that you're describing, that he's describing, is not even really meant for someone like you. If you're thinking like this and if you're in this space, then all you have to do is not listen to that specific type of rap music, right? Like, if you were forcing yourself to listen to it because you think it's what you have to listen to, again, I feel like that says more about you and the way you curate your taste and the things you focus on from a cultural point of view than it does about the overall rap culture, right? You're describing a specific subsection, subgenre of rap music, which is like murder rap. That's not all of rap. That's not even close to being all of rap. So it's just, I don't know.
I'm not saying we need to just discredit all rap, and I'm not saying all rappers are horrible. You've got some very, very good rappers who don't talk about any of this. They simply talk about their story. They talk about the life experience they lived, and they have uplifting messaging. But most of rap is just not that. If we're being very honest, most of rap is just not that.
No, I think you're being disingenuous to describe most of rap as being murder rap. That's insane, because that's just not true.
They're talking about hoes. They're talking about paying hoes, tricking on hoes. They're talking about upping guns and robbing people. They're talking about how everybody else is broke. They're talking about how I'm the shit. I'm God. Some of these people, when they rap like they're God. And they glorify this disgusting lifestyle. Treat women like shit. Don't spend no money on that. That's what they like to say. Don't spend no money on that. Girl and leave. Girl and leave. Have 3 baby mamas. Who cares? Pump out a kid every year. Don't be there. Don't be there for them. It don't matter, bro. You out here, you lit. You in all these hoes, and you over here drinking all this liquor, and you balling, you big balling. You got money. You robbing people. You hitting licks. Like, life is good, right? Right?
Wiz Khalifa, J. Cole. They're coming to my mind, right? Like,
right? I don't ever in my life want to hear another individual who says or who acts like they cares about my community or people who look like me if you're still bumping King Von and man, I stopped listening so much that I don't even recognize a lot of these names no more. Lil Durk, Julio Fulio, Jada Youngin.
nigga, I love rap and I don't listen to any of those people for that specific reason, bro. Murder music is not for me. Now, if one of those murder music songs goes super up, I might bang it a couple times. I might be like, hey, they be talking some crazy shit, but it kind of goes hard. And if an artist I really like talks about some of that super tough shit every once in a while, like you'll hear Kendrick do it, you'll hear Cole do it, you'll hear the people that you love the wholesome shit from kind of get in that bag. It just is what it is, because a lot of it is kind of just cosplay at the end of the day. Like, that's totally cool, but you can enjoy rap and not listen to what he's describing. So it's like, you could name way more artists that don't do that than you could name artists that do. It's just, you're cherry picking it.
Like, all of this nonsense, man. And this ain't knocks to these people, because at the end of the day, they just trying to get their bread. But if we being honest,
no, they are trying to get their bread, of course. We're all trying to do that, right? But they're also telling their story. A lot of the time, they're also telling their story or some kind of version of that story, right? So, like, you are kind of discrediting it by doing what you're doing.
You can't sit here and act like music doesn't affect culture.
It does.
And culture doesn't affect day-to-day life.
It does, absolutely.
Because what is a lifestyle?
But that's not your lifestyle, and that's not your culture.
Lifestyle is simply a compilation of your daily habits played out over a prolonged period of time. That is a lifestyle.
That's your character.
So if the precursor to a lifestyle is a habit, how is a habit formed? By influence. Your influences determine your habits.
No, it's what you practice.
Or at the very least, that's what they've done for almost everybody that I know. Everybody on this planet has been influenced, right? So if we're being very honest, how can we sit here and talk about changing the culture, changing the lifestyle that's being purported en masse, if we don't dial back on the habits, and then going back further behind the habits, look at the influence?
This is a crazy leap in logic, because he's basically saying that the murder music, which you don't even have to listen to, but if you do consume it, will create habits that are in line with what the murder music is describing. And I can tell you for a fact, no one's not let me put it like this. An overwhelming majority of the people who listen to that music are not going out and doing those things. Bro, a lot of the people who listen to that music are white people. If you don't believe me, look no further than Trap Lore Ross's YouTube channel and his comment section and his entire fan base. So I'm gonna let that rock. I'm gonna let that rock, bro. So
Influence is so key. That's why politicians do whatever they do to fool people into believing such and such and such to fall on their side. That's why countries have fought wars. It's all about influence. You think countries fight wars for money? No, they fight wars for power.
The war industrial complex is literally the biggest industry in terms of business in the world. I think it's like the war industrial complex and then healthcare, or it's healthcare and then it's the war industrial complex. It's like both of those are the top two. So no, it is mostly about money. Then it's about religious ideology, and they use influence, I guess, to push their agenda, but that's also incorrect.
That's why they send men to go and die, so that they can influence the world.
I mean, I guess I'm being disingenuous by pretending I don't understand what he's trying to say, but it is about money, especially particularly what he's talking about. It is about money.
So how can we sit here and talk about making the change and being better if we're still listening to this demonic messaging, this evil messaging, this messaging that's telling us that our brothers and sisters aren't worth a damn? They're just a lick, an easy lick. And I'm using a lot of vulgar language, but that's just the language of the culture. And I am no saint. I'm not perfect. So once I get to a point where I can articulate this message without dropping so many curses on you, because somebody did bring that to my attention, and trust and believe, I'm working on that, not because they said it, but because it's already something I've actively been working on. Either way, the point is, listen, if you're young, if you look like me, whether you don't look like me, because at the end of the day, race is a social construct, none of it matters. But if you look like me, you're more than likely going to be thrusted into this culture without your just sovereignty being even taken into consideration. It's just going to be thrown at you by your parents, who, if we're being honest, don't understand the implications of this influence. Maybe people around you who tell you that listening to anything else is lame, and if you're not sliding with big drakes, you're a weirdo, and this and that. I'm here to tell you that's not true. I'm here to tell you that's not true. I'm not saying it don't sound good when you put it in your ears. That's the problem. We've been reduced to entertainers. You don't have to be an entertainer. Human beings, black humans, white humans, orange humans, it don't matter, bro. We're all intelligent. This notion that black people are somehow inferior to anybody else, that black people more than anybody else like to purport, it's incorrect. It's incorrect. We're no different. Our brains aren't smaller. We're not retarded. We're just as capable as any other race. So instead of demonizing other races for pointing out the truth and the facts, how about we take it for what it is? Take it for what the fuck it is. You are extremely subject to your influences. You can be great. You can be anything you want to be, regardless of what you look like.
Further, black music isn't even the only music that talks about stuff like this. You can find just as much country music that glorifies cheating on your ex, killing people you don't like, committing debauchery, as you can find that in rap music. Again, he says race is just a social construct, and so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. And then he goes into this deep monologue about how a specific race needs to take accountability for some specific subsection of a specific type of culture, which is interesting, without addressing that this is something that's present in all forms of culture. Like, you could even take it away from race and then apply it to like something different, like religion. Like, there's issues with every religion, but that doesn't make the religions bad, right? So it's like, it's a very interesting set of talking points that he's bringing up, and it seems like he's really dealing with some kind of insecurity due to maybe like things he's dealt with, you know, in terms of like racism, or maybe he just has had a lot of uncomfortable run-ins with people judging his blackness, which is understandable. Like, I've experienced stuff like that, but I never take it to be something that tells me that I should feel ashamed of any aspect of blackness. But that doesn't mean I can't judge something that comes from black culture and say, this is not for me, or this is for me, or say this is good or this is not bad subjectively, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just subjective. But you have to understand that that's not something that only happens in Black culture. It happens in all cultures. It happens in all races. It happens in all demographics. It's not localized to just Black people. And the way he's describing this, the way he's bringing up these talking points, makes it seem as though it's only a Black thing. It might be sensationalized because it's Black people, and that goes back to race not being just a social construct. It's a systemic issue in the West, and that's very real, and it really does affect Black people. So what he's describing is something that's a lot deeper than it just being Black people, because at the end of the day, why are those people even rapping about those things in the first place? Because of what them being Black has forced them to experience, because of the systemic disadvantages they experience because they aren't Black in the first place. And it's an entire aspect of this that he's just blatantly choosing to ignore. Either he's ignorant to it, which honestly it seems more like that. He's just ignorant to it because he did say he wasn't born in the United States, and he's actually Nigerian. I saw his channel name. He's actually Nigerian, and as a Nigerian myself, I can tell you that that's a mistake Nigerians make all the time. They take it to be something it is at face value because that's the way the majority presents it without doing their due diligence to research the nuance in the issue. Because if you did, you would see real statistics and you would observe real, like, anthropological phenomena that tell the truth about this circumstance. And so I think that he's ignorant to that. I don't think it's that he's choosing to ignore it. I think he's genuinely just ignorant to it.
So don't let people who look like you try to influence you into doing some things that you know, and now that you've been informed, are aware.
No one's making you do
down.
anything. You're allowed to listen to any music you want. You're allowed to participate in any culture you want. That's like the whole reason people like Playboi Carti are popular. That's the reason people like Uzi are popular. That's the reason people like Yachty are popular. That's the reason people like J. Cole and Denzel Curry are popular. But that's also the reason why people like Fulio Coolio or whatever his name is, or King Von, are popular. You're allowed to do whatever you want. You're allowed to listen to whatever you want, right? No one's fucking making you do anything, especially not in the Western world for the most part, right? Not the way he's describing it. Absolutely not. That's a decision you're making, right? That's an insecurity you're feeling, but that's not a aspect of culture, right? That's just not what that is.
The effects aren't immediate, but they're there. They're real. They exist. If you want to listen to other things, you're not lame for that, my brother. If you're a guy, if you're a girl, listen, if guys think you're whitewashed and you're a girl and you like a certain type of guy, first I tell you to reconsider. But who cares? Move on. If you're a guy, especially, because I can speak to this a little better, if you're not getting that reciprocal energy from, let's say you're interested in a girl, right? And she doesn't think you're hood enough, or she don't think you're gangster enough because you don't listen to rap, you don't tote guns, you don't talk about robbing people, you go to work, you try to build.
Bro, I've dated dozens of Black women in my life, and none of them, the issue, if it ever came up, was not that I was not hood enough and that I was not toting guns. So again, this is more of an indication of what goes on in your mind, of what you do in your life, than it is about the culture, because you can date people who look like you and that will never come up, right? It's your taste. It's your decision making. If you're going out here and you're looking for hood rats who can be any race, trust me, I know, then that's more telling about you and your character than it is about rap culture or Black culture, which is what you really meant to say in this title. Not rap culture, but Black culture. And you're not even describing the culture correctly. You're taking a couple of sensationalized aspects of it that are absolutely the minority aspects of it, and you're using those to make this like blanket cover statement about the entire culture. And it's just fascinating, honestly.
Yourself up in a respectful manner, you respect authority, you move with some sort of decorum to you. There's nothing wrong with that, brother. There's nothing wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, this person that's judging you for your music taste, because that's what it looks like on a surface level, even though it's not that simple. This person that's judging you for that, they're not somebody that you want to sit here and actually spend your life with. You're going to end up in hell, in jail, dead, one of the two. They're going to drag you into something you don't want to be a part of because they're brainwashed. That's all they believe in. But yeah, you know, it's your boy, be the change you wish to inspire. Stop listening to all this bullshit, man. I'm stopping, because I can't sit here and preach what I don't practice. It's okay. If you like rock, if you like metal, white people music, so if you like Hispanic people music, it doesn't matter. If you
Latino.
like these other things, then that's good. That's fine. You don't have to be a gangster. You don't have to be a thug, and you certainly don't have to listen to them.
No one told you have to do any of those things. No one ever made you do any of those things. Kids are judgmental. People are judgmental in general, but no one's making you do anything you don't want to, especially for the most part in the Western world.
You don't have to be an entertainer. You don't have to be part of the circus to be successful. You can be whatever you want to be.
Brother, we are all a part of the circus, so
let rap culture die off, man. At least this demonic that's being purported throughout the society, let that go. If you want to listen to it every now and again, maybe, sure. Because I know I will. I still got some playlists. I listen to it maybe like one song out the day, maybe, when I'm at the gym. Sometimes I'm just feeling that way.
Which was my whole point, but no one's putting a gun to your head and telling you, yo, spin that Dirk album perpetually all day now, nigga. Like, no one's doing that. So it's like, it's to capstone it with this like statement of, I'ma still listen to it, but you know, you can listen to whatever you want to. It's like, bro, you could have just led with that, but
listening to that
bro.
on
I'm losing
repeat
it.
song
I'm
after
losing
song
it.
after song talking about that nonsense, no sir, let it die.
I don't think that means you should let it die though. Like, you can just
Heavenly Father, I want you to embrace this individual, and I'm speaking to you right now. I want you to embrace this individual,
All
hearing
right.
this message with the correct information. In the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. My name.
Yeah, it's like the messaging is very Christian. I definitely picked that up at the end of the video. Very fascinating talking points, interesting stuff. I pretty much said everything that I felt, so I don't really need to say any more in the conclusion, but I'd like to hear what you think. Let me know down in the comment section, like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.